All right, jumping into lesson 42, Algebra 1. We are trying to solve for a variable when there are two variables sitting in your equation. So for example, this has 8y minus 13x minus 8 equaling 4. And they say, okay, well, solve for y. Well, before in any of our equations, we've always had only one variable, an x, a y, an m, it doesn't matter. We've only had one, and then we've been able to solve it down and have an actual number value. So sometimes x is negative 2/3, sometimes x is 10, sometimes x is 117. We don't know. We just know that once we solve for it, we get an actual number. Okay, so in these problems, you are not going to get a number. What you're going to get is an equation that says, in this example, it's going to say y equals blah, 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 blah. Okay, because we want y to be by itself, and we want it to say equals, y equals whatever it is. So if this said solve for z, we'd want it to say z equals blah, blah, blah. If this says solve for b, we'd want to say b equals blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you're looking for getting your y all by itself, y equaling something else. So you're going to do the exact same thing that we've done for all of the other equations that we've been working on, where we're solving for our x or our m or whatever using the same kind of concepts with your adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying across, isolating whatever the variable is that you're looking for. Okay, so let me walk through this example with you. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but this is practice question A on page 170. Okay, so we have 8y minus 13x minus 8 equals 4. We are going to get y by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this and this over to this side. So in order to do that, I'm going to save myself a step, and I'm going to do both of these at the same time. Okay, so whatever I do on one side, I have to do it on the other side. Sorry, 13x plus 8. Okay, so I wanted to move this x over here because I want y all by itself. So I took the opposite of minus 13x, which is plus 13x, and that gets to be 0. And then I've got a minus 8, so I just added 8 to it to get 0. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Okay, so I'm left with 8y on this side. I've got a 13x, and I've got a 4 plus 8. I can add these together because they're like terms. So now I have 12, okay? All right, now going back, we want this to say, instead of 8 times y, we just want it to say y. Now before, when we were solving for things like this, we'd say, okay, well, 8 times y, what's the opposite of that? We divide, because 8 divided by 8 is going to be 1, and 1 times y is y. So this I'm going to divide by 8. So this is how this works. You can write it like this, or sometimes they want you to simplify it, so they tell you to write it like this, where each of these upper terms have the denominator of 8. So like 13x over 8 plus 12 over 8. You can reduce this fraction by dividing the top and bottom by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So you could even reduce it even more by simplifying that fraction there. So y equals 13x over 8 plus 3 halves. Again, you could have written it like this. It means the same thing. So sometimes they'll want you to write it one way, and sometimes they'll want you to write it another. I'm going to be gracious and let you write it either way. Okay, one more example from this lesson. This is letter B, again on page 170. It says solve for P, 8P plus 3W equals W minus 15 minus 2P. Okay, so we have a P on both sides. And remember, our goal is to get an equation that says P equals something. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, pick a side. Where do I want my P to end up? I'm going to move it over here because I like to work with positive numbers as often as possible. And I know if I subtract this 8p, it's going to go to a negative 10p, and I don't really want that. So first thing I'm going to do is move my p over. Okay. The opposite of minus 2p is plus 2p. Okay. 8p plus 2p is 10p plus 3w equals w minus 15. Okay. So we've already got p on the left side, but now we got to get rid of this 3w. Okay, so we're going to subtract it like that. Those cross out. Positive 3 minus a negative, or minus 3 is 0. 0 plus 10p is 10p. This equals, let's see, we've got a 1w minus 3, a positive 1, a minus 3. You subtract 3 minus 1 is 2. The bigger number is 3. It's got a negative in front of it, so negative 2w minus 15. Okay, with me so far? Now we want to get rid of this 10 times p by dividing both sides by 10. I'm just going to do this instead of doing it all over the same. So p equals negative 2 tenths w minus 15 tenths. Okay, if I wanted to reduce this, I could say, all right, well, if I took 2 out of this and 2 out of this, this is negative 1/5. And let's see, 5 out of this and 5 out of this, this is 3/2. So p equals negative 1/5 w, and then minus 3/2. If you really simplify it all the way down, that's what you're going to get, is negative 1/5 w minus 3/2. Okay, good luck.